The fDeck Vision instrument is both a 2D PFD and also a 3D synthetic view. I'm releasing it as an early access instrument, and this basically means there may be things that don't work quite right or potential layout issues. If this is the case for you, then please let me know. I have tested on as many different screen sizes, aspect ratios, and orientations as I can, but there's always going to be outliers. As you can see here, I have the Vision instrument on the panel on the left-hand side alongside the HSI instrument in a landscape flight deck on a phone device. You can transition between instruments as normal by swiping between them, just as you would do on any other instrument within fDeck. Let's go full screen on the Vision instrument and delve into its functionality. It's a standard PFD design, ground speed on the left, heading on the top, and altitude on the right. You have a CDI and two navigation radios along the bottom. This is depicted slightly differently on tablets, where you get a full compass rose rather than just a sliding CDI. The main screen obviously shows you your roll and pitch. So if we look at the ground speed tape specifically to start with, I've got G speed as a text because I wanted to remind people that it is ground speed and not indicated airspeed. You've got the units at the bottom, and you can click the units and it will toggle between knots, miles per hour, kilometers an hour, and it rolls back to knots again. Along the top we have the heading tape. Now this is magnetic heading. It also has a heading bug. If you click on the tape, you can set the heading bug. So it's currently set to 060. We can change that to, I don't know, let's go 020, and the heading bug changes. On the right hand side we have the altitude tape. Now this is slightly more complex. There are different altitude sources. So currently we're showing GPS. Now we're running this recording on an iOS simulator, which basically means I've got no barometric sensor. So the baro mode is actually showing as INOP, which is correct. But in baro mode on a real device with a pressure sensor, this will show your barometric altitude based upon the pressure setting that you have set here. Now we've got 1013 set here, so we can click 1013 and we can change this to whatever our QNH or QFE is. So let's change this to 1023, for example, and that will change that. And if we had a barometric sensor installed, we would get the barometric pressure based upon 1023. We can toggle the pressure units from hectopascals to inches of mercury. So depending on where you are in the world, you can set that as you see fit. And in addition, you can change the units. So if we go back to the GPS for a moment, we can change the units to meters or that to feet. So we've got GPS as an altitude source, we've got baro as an altitude source, and we've also can set it to standard, STD, which basically sets it to 1013 or 29.92. Now, when in standard mode, you can't actually set the pressure. You can only set the pressure in baro. So we flip that back to GPS, hectopascals and feet. That's how we'll leave the altitude tape for here in the UK. On the middle bottom, we've got the CDI display. We've got two nav radios. Each nav radio can be individually slaved to drive the CDI. So we've got the nav2 box shaded in magenta here with a box around it, which basically tells me that this is the one that's driving the CDI display. We click and hold on nav1, we can toggle that. And probably best to show you this when we've got nav radios tuned. So let's tune up a nav radio. So I click on nav1. I'm just going to pick any one here. Let's choose Williams Vortac. So we've tuned Williams Vortac on nav1. We've got auto obs set on. So you can see here it automatically tuned it to and set the obs course accordingly. If we tune nav2 to a slightly different, let's go slightly further away. Let's pick, I don't know, Franklin Airport. So tune Franklin Airport up here. So we've got the two idents to the left and right. So ILA, India Lima Alpha, and Kilo Foxtrot 72. We've then got the bearing to each station and also the distance to each station. Now, as you said, currently nav1 is tuned to the CDI. If we press and hold nav2, it toggles to Kilo Foxtrot 72, and we can choose nav1 again and toggle back. If we want to change the obs course, we can click on the course. We can set a new one, so let's do 123, for example, hit enter, and we'll get the OBS needle change accordingly. You can clear a radio by clicking on it and hitting the red button on the left here, just as you would do with any other instrumentation. So again, as I said earlier, on the tablet version, this is shown as a full compass rose, and you can click and drag the OBS course arrow and the heading bug, and you can move it around the compass rose. It's quite nice on the tablet. So looking quickly at instrument settings, you can turn lots of different settings for different parts. So you can turn parts off. So you can turn the heading indicator off, you can turn the altitude off, and let's turn all off your in speed tape. So we go back in, so we've turned all the left, right and top off. We've left the nav boxes on down the bottom. You can turn them off as well if you wanted to. So you can pick and choose and fully customize how you would like your PFD to look. Let's turn those back on for now. You can also change your units in here if you wanted to, but I find it easier just to change here on the display. And lastly, as an upcoming feature teaser, let me do something now that you won't necessarily be able to do for the moment on your instrumentation, and that's I'm going to turn on 3D terrain. So we've now changed the instrument from a 2D PFD to a full 3D synthetic vision instrument. Now this is super exciting. I'm still developing this, it's not perfect, but this in the future is going to give us some incredible opportunity to do things like show real-time traffic or 3D synthetic routes of your flight plan. Pretty cool, and I'm super excited to get this up and running and into the hands of all my users. I hope this has proven useful and gives you everything you need to use the new Vision Flight Deck instrument. It's been a long time coming. I haven't done an update to fDeck for over a year, and the main reason is that I've been really focusing on getting a good synthetic vision instrument out the door, as well as some major architectural changes in the background that have happened since the last release. Hopefully it's been good for you guys. It's exciting, and yeah, thank you for listening.